Our in-depth back-to-school coverage continues this morning. In the last hour, we told you about some of the security upgrades Portsmouth has made at its 4 public schools. New landlines, cell phone towers, surveillance cameras, and District Safety and Security Coordinator Alan Garcia helped implement those changes. He now joins us live in studio to talk more about some other safeguards that are in place. We told you Portsmouth adding 4 school safety officers, different than school resource officers. Alan, tell us about the difference between those and the type of training they undergo.
Sure. It's a really neat initiative that started through the National Association of School Resource Officers. Basically, you're using highly trained former law enforcement officers, military folks, giving them some enhanced medical training, school safety training, and self-defense training, and putting them in the schools to work with the staffs and the students.
Unarmed?
Unarmed.
And why was that? You just didn't want to. You shouldn't want the presence of like a big security compound.
We already have school resource officers that are armed, members of the police department, so it really wasn't a priority.
Let's talk about some of the training that the teachers have gone through. Some new things that they are learning about when they come into school this year on how to react to an active shooter, any sort of situation that's an emergency.
Sure. This is my third school year. When I first got there, we went through kind of an all-hands professional development where everybody received 4 hours of training. But this year, we're gonna ramp it up a little bit. I'm working on some initiatives with some of the school leaders where we're actually gonna get some hands-on stuff. We're gonna replicate some school emergencies. I don't want to give away the secrets too much for the staffs, but we're gonna try to get them inoculated to the stresses of a real world situation should the unthinkable happen.
What about these body-worn alarms that some staff members, now we're talking about Portsmouth specifically now.
Correct.
What are these body-worn alarms? Who will be wearing them? Why would they need them?
So similar, and I guess the best way to explain it to the layman is it's almost like a distress alarm that somebody that suffered at a medical emergency or has some type of situation where they need to summon assistance if they fall or something, if they live alone. These are the same type of technology, only they're worn either on a bracelet or a lanyard by my front office staff, my recess aides, my janitors. This is basically just dial the police, push one button, and it's an emergency beacon right to the police. So in case of any type of emergency, it's instant notification.
I want to ask you about the school resource officers, and we spoke at Portsmouth a couple of weeks ago when we did this story about prioritizing staff at a school for a police officer, and so much has changed now that you want the best, maybe the best of the best in the department, in the school. Why is that?
Right. Number one on every community's list as far as their community treasures, Pat, should be their children. It should be the community's children. So with that mindset, I think you should have the officers in the schools protecting those children come from kind of the top 10% of the talent pool in that police department, not the bottom 10%. We've seen some SROs across the country that maybe weren't from that category, and they've made some mistakes, and it's cost lives. So you really want the high quality guys and girls that really want to be there and be effective SROs.
Do you see that shifting?
Absolutely, absolutely. We have some real good ones in Portsmouth.
Awesome. All right. Alan, thanks so much for coming in.
Problem.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for your help in this series we put together, and you'll be able to see this interview in its entirety on our website, WPRI.com. Coming up in the next half hour, back to school shopping, where a family is spending their money this year at the computer or at the cash register. And how much will they spend? Consumer reporter Susan Campbell is crunching those numbers.
All right, it's now 7:30.